Hey guys. So, sorry, that was my dogs. So I haven't talked on here in a while. I've had a lot going on between school and family stuff, home stuff, work, my animals, things like that. Just a lot. So I have a lot to update you guys on. So basically I did my detox, as I was talking about, I think in my last video, that I was going to be doing a detox for my stomach. And I did that. That was actually a while ago. But I basically had to take this kind of like pH powder for my stomach and get everything cleaned out, be on like a really strict low carb paleo diet. Just while I was, trying to get all this crap out of my system. And it went really well. It was really hard to go without coffee for 2 weeks. That was my major struggle. But most of the food I had, was like in the mornings, I would have a smoothie with my powder. And then I am a person who likes to eat leftovers. So I kind of just, made dinner the night before, ate leftovers, things like that. I was always really hungry though. I don't know if that's just because I was eating more whole foods and stuff like that, so you can eat, bigger portions than if you were just snacking. But that's how my detox went. It went really well. I didn't have to do any more or anything, take any more powder. And then I've had a few other appointments since then. I have had an appointment that I kind of just talked about, next steps before I got some of my test results in. I have just been on sorry, I'm moving. Low carb kind of paleo diet still. He wants me to stay on that just because with the results I've gotten, he thinks that's the best diet for me to have. So yeah, that's that. And so that's the kind of diet I'm on. A couple tests back. I haven't gone into detail with all of them yet with my doctor. The first test we talked about was my food sensitivity test. I had that. I only actually had 2 reactions on that, which was kind of nice. My major ones were egg and like vanilla, like the vanilla bean, which is the most random thing, which is kind of like frustrating because during my detox, I didn't know that yet. And so all I was eating was like eggs for lunch and things like that. But it's okay. I mean, it's not the hardest thing to take out, but it is, kind of sucks. Was my food sensitivity test. The next thing he talked about was my stool test. So that one's the really complex, really complicated type of thing. The major thing he saw from that was that I am gluten intolerant. It's really unfortunate because I love bread, pasta, everything, baked goods, stuff like that. But during the detox, I wasn't eating gluten anyway, so I'm kind of used to it, but it still kind of sucks. But the good thing about, this time in the world right now, there's so many things that are gluten-free and stuff like that, but I'm also paleo, so he doesn't really want me to eat grains and stuff like that, like corn, rice, quinoa, things like that. But he kind of broke it down into a few sections for me, so he just trying to explain it. So he said, gluten is like murder, it's the worst of the worst, you don't want to eat that. And then grains are like shoplifting, it's not good. Your body won't like it, things like that. And then egg and vanilla are kind of like a speeding ticket. You can do those occasionally, maybe once or twice a week, something like that, but not that often. And that's kind of how he kind of broke it down for me. And that was one appointment, just explaining that. And then I kept on going on with my diet. I have been feeling really good. No bloating, no abdominal discomfort, stuff like that. Now for my next appointment I am on a bunch of pills, unfortunately. Not just like, medication type pills, but supplement type of pills. So I am taking a bunch of different pills to kill the bad bacteria in my small intestine. And that is because I was shown to have SIBO. If you don't know what SIBO is, it is small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. So in your small intestine, he kind of explained it to me how you're not supposed to have all this bacteria in there, that's supposed to be in your large intestine where there's good and bad bacteria, where probiotics go, things like that. But in your small intestine, you shouldn't really be having all that in there. So I have this overgrowth, but I also have a leaky gut. So this overgrowth of crap in my stomach, I have all these like microscopic holes in my gut, you know, and when I got my colonoscopy, they look macroscopically because you can't really see microscopically unless you do something like a stool test. Microscopically, he was looking at my stool test and he saw that I had a leaky gut, which basically means, you know, the stuff from my gut is kind of leaking out, going into my system, not really making me feel good and stuff like that. You can look more into it if you look it up online, what leaky gut is. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of it, maybe possibly SIBO too. But those are some of my risk factors. And he was talking to me about gluten and giving me all these different links of gluten, of some really helpful information. And I was looking at them and realized, like, you know, he was saying gluten, no one should be consuming it. I mean, it is very prevalent right now, or all the time, honestly. But it's really just like, you know, it doesn't benefit me in any way. And it's kind of just like making all these symptoms worse. Things like if you have autoimmune diseases, you know, gluten doesn't help that. It aggravates it. So with my history of autoimmune disease, my history of diabetes in my family, he saw that I have, you know, insulin resistance, I have bacterial overgrowth, I have to take iron supplements, magnesium, vitamin K, vitamin D. I have a lot of stuff like that, you know, that my body just is kind of like, he said basically that my gut wasn't looking good, wasn't doing well. And it was like, you know, grass, and all the grass was getting overgrown. It wasn't being maintained. It wasn't being cut, but there's also all these random little weeds that are growing. And so whenever I looked at my stool test by myself, so he hasn't explained all of it to me, every single aspect. But when I looked at it myself, I was like, oh my gosh, there's some of these levels that are like supposed to be between 20 to 40, and mine are at like 300. And they all have to do with like IBS, IBD, things with like SIBO, bacterial overgrowth, you know, bloating, issues like that. And it makes so much sense. So I almost cried, if I'm being honest. It was just a lot of reassurance for me, a lot of relief. I finally know at least some of what, or most of what is going on in my body. And, you know, it's been a long journey for me, and I can't believe I didn't come to this sooner. I wish I did, because it's been really hard on me, mentally, physically, emotionally. Sorry, that's my dog. I wish I found out, you know, but we just have to look forward. You know, I'm still gonna have a lot more appointments that I'll update you guys on. I'm still going through this journey. Right now I'm doing, obviously, killing off the bacteria, and that can have some like side effects of bloating and digestion and stuff like that, which he said is normal, but I just kind of have to kill off all that bad stuff right now. So that is where I'm at. I can show you guys what I eat in a day, or maybe, you know, just the supplements I'm taking right now. I do get them from my holistic doctor, so I don't know if they're really accessible, but they might be. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.